Master Saga Season 10 is going to drop in just a couple days this Wednesday, but I wanted to make a video talking about the rule changes before the episode goes up. Obviously, in episode 1, I will mention the changes, but I wanted to talk about them a little bit more in depth today because there are a lot of them. I'm not going to focus on the reasoning behind these changes in episode 1, so I wanted to make this video to give a little bit more background. Full disclosure, we have already started filming the season. If you've been seeing the live stream notifications, you probably already know this, but we're 4 episodes in right now, so we've already had a chance to experience these rules, and so far they're going pretty well. I did want to say though, before we got in here, first off, hopefully you don't mind my silly PowerPoint, but we have 4 years of Saga today. Today is the 4th anniversary of Saga Episode 1, and that is just, wow, it has been a trip. I did not realize when I was making this series initially that it would eventually become what my channel was known for, but truly, I could not be happier with this. We've done so many seasons with Farfa, MBT, and Nim Nim, and it's been a great time, and I think that this season is going to be really exciting too. So yeah, 4 years of Saga, thank you so much. Let's talk about these new rules. So this season, we're opening 10 Master Packs and 10 Secret Packs. That's not too crazy. We've done this in the past. I know sometimes we do 15 secret packs, but I think 10 is about the right amount in terms of the power level that I'm looking for. I want Saga to be sort of in that mid-range power level where it's not like absolute crap decks, but also it's not like broken, overpowered strategies. And I think that 10 secret packs makes it so that even when you pull a good deck, you don't have like a literal constructed deck. So that's what we're going to do this season. And then also, huge change here, a huge change that I've wanted to do for a while, but I didn't want to just put it halfway through Team Master Saga. So we have crafts can be not only from your secret pack, but also your archetype or the legacy pack. So this goes for any time you have crafts, and I think this fixes a lot of issues. So obviously the secret pack isn't anything new. The archetype stuff though covers a lot. It not only covers the cards that are in solo mode, which are also in the legacy pack, but it even counts cards that were added later in Master Duel that aren't in the secret pack and also aren't in the legacy pack. And I really like the legacy pack crafts on here because it means if you go into a secret pack that just sucks, it's completely shit, at least you can get some crafts from the legacy pack. There's a lot of good generic staples in there. The cards that you used to see us start the show with are all in the legacy pack, so things like Jelly Cannon, MST, Unexpected Die, of course. So I think this is a cool way to give you a chance to get some nice crafts, even if your secret pack was kind of a low roll that week. All right, let's talk about the prizes, and this is the first change that you're going to see that might remind you of Pack Dash. I really liked a lot of the rules that we had going in Pack Dash, and I did bring a couple of them over into this season of Saga. So there are going to be wheels for every single record instead of just 0-2. What this does is it allows me to make it so that while 2-0 still has a chance for URs, it's not always guaranteed. People talk about snowballing in this series a lot, and while I do think that you can buff the loser's wheel so much that it makes snowballing a little bit less likely, another way to tackle that is to just make the 2-0 prizes a little bit less consistent. So you'll notice here that on the 2-0, we have 2 chances to get a UR, an SR, or 3 NR. That was the older prize. We also have a chance of 2 SR or 3 NR, but then the other 3 are sort of the low rolls, the 1 SR or 3 NR. So this means if you are on a winning streak, you're not guaranteed to get a UR every single week, which, you know, it's still good to be winning because you want to win the series, but it's not going to be as overpowered, and it's hopefully going to prevent some snowballing from happening. The 1-1 wheel is kind of in the middle here, so you do have the 2 SR or 3 NR hit as well as a +5 secret packs hit. I think that those are sort of the high rolls there, and then the other 4 hits are just the normal 1 SR or 3 NR that we've been doing for the last few seasons. Where things get really crazy though is that I've sort of redone the loser's wheel in a few big ways. So I have removed a lot of the low rolls on here. There's no like 4 NR, there's no 3 legacy pack crafts because those can always just happen. So now we have a lot of really strong prizes to hit. You can hit, there's 1 chance of it, the 1 UR or 1 SR or 3 NR. We also have 3 SR or lower. That's incredibly powerful. That one's basically just on there so that I can craft Unexpected Die. No, but that one's on there. I think it's very powerful. Go from the legacy pack, go from the secret pack, whatever. We also have 2 SR or 3 NR, just like the other 2 wheels, as well as +5 secret packs. I think that +5 secret packs is actually pretty strong. I know it might not initially seem as powerful as these other options, but 5 secret packs is actually a lot, and you can get some really good pulls from that. We also have a Master Pack bundle card. So this means you forego your regular secret pack craft for a bundle card instead. There's always the possibility that someone is losing a ton and then they hit this over and over again and they can keep crafting strong staple cards. But really, if someone is that deep in the hole in terms of losses, that's fine. We want to give them a chance to come back. It's a consistent comment every single year that you guys want the loser's wheel buffed, and I think that this one is the most buffed it's ever been. One thing I do want to mention there is that you don't get to double up on the bundle cards, so you can't craft like multiple lightning storm if you hit this. You're only allowed to grab each card once. And then finally here, 2 bans, one for each opponent. You declare these at the end of the episode. I think these emergency bans will keep the opponents on their toes, because if someone goes 0-2, there's always a possibility that you might lose some cards in the next episode, and hopefully once again it gives the loser a little bit of a chance to come back. Moving on, another big change that we've made to help the loser out is that the loser of a game decides the coin toss against that opponent in the next episode. So for example, if I won both of my games and then MBT beat Farfa, in the next episode, Farfa would get to decide the coin toss against MBT, and both of them would get to decide the coin toss against me. This was a big problem, I think, primarily in Team Saga, but just in general the past couple seasons. But basically, this prevents the winner, like the person that's already in a dominant position, from also getting to go first a bunch of times based on coin flips. I can tell you right now, this has been great. This change has been awesome. We were talking about it at the end of Team Saga, but once again, I don't like just throwing rule changes out there with the last 5 episodes or whatever. But yeah, this has been going really great, and I think it fixes a lot of the issues, and it really helps out, once again, the people that are losing. Moving on, we have legacy limits, not bans. So in the past, we've banned packs and we've banned cards. I think those are fine solutions, but people have brought up in the past that it does sort of deflate a lot of the pulls. If you unlock a really good secret pack, it's like, oh, well, but guess I can't go into that. If you pull some really strong cards just randomly, then you're not able to use them. So I think that having legacy limits really makes a lot more sense. We haven't done actual limits in Saga in a while, but I think that in this way, it makes it so that these cards are still strong, but they're not like guaranteed 3-ofs in every deck until they get banned. And you might be wondering here what the colors mean. So I looked at the last 3 seasons of Saga, so that's like a year and a half, and the cards that are in red here got banned in all 3 seasons. The cards in blue got banned in 2 of them. And keep in mind here, one of those seasons was Master Saga Roulette, which means we couldn't even decide our packs. Despite that, those top cards still found their way to the ban list in all 3 of those seasons. So I think that those are pretty obvious hits. Also, we have Sinful Spoils of Subversion, Snake Eye, Aratama, and Fair Welcome Labyrinth. Those cards were all hit twice among the last 3 seasons. The big thing I want to mention with all of these cards is that by limiting these, they don't actually affect any archetypes from being played. Yes, several of these cards are part of archetypes, but they're not necessary at 3 copies to make the archetypes function. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is prevent the packs that these cards are in from being auto picks. You know, if you unlock the Kashtira pack, you're going to go into it. Ogre is so strong. Torrential Tribute is in several packs, and they all become like must opens if you unlock them, because Torrential is such a powerful trap. Decisive Battle of Golgonda, for example, is a really overpowered card that works in any deck, and it's a card that if you unlock the pack, you're going to try to go into it. The one spot I was going back and forth with was Aratama versus Shinobird's Calling, but like I said, I still want every theme to be playable, and Aratama is a lot more generically useful, as we've seen in the past alongside Sakitama, where Shinobird's Calling is necessary for the Shinobirds to work. The idea here is that while there are still some powerful archetypes in the format format that we've seen before, they only really take one ban to stop them. So if we go to the next page here, I'll highlight a couple cards: Sky Striker Ace Ray, Monk of the Tenyi, Orcus Harp Horror, and Great Sansi Gold Golganda. These cards have only actually been hit once within the last 3 seasons. I'm not saying that these cards aren't powerful, I'm just saying that I want to make sure archetypes are playable, and these are engine requirements for their specific themes. So even though these decks might pop up again, they're extremely easy to hit by just banning one of their core pieces. It's fine having a powerful deck in the format as an archetype as long as it can be hit on a ban list. It's the generic cards, these ones, that are so much harder to deal with because it's not like you really want to spend hits on them. You'd rather be hitting the archetype cards that your opponent has pulled, but they are like mandatory bans because they're so generically powerful. So that's kind of how the legacy limits work and why these cards were not hit. Maybe the biggest change this season is how you win. So in the past, it's just been 20 episodes. That's how it's always been over the last 4 years, but I actually really liked the pack dash method of winning a series. In that series, it wasn't so much on win-loss ratio, and there wasn't a set episode count. You just had to meet a certain requirement. I think it was like 15 wins. I think it was 15, 10 or 15. In this season, though, for Saga, it's going to be 25 wins. I know that sounds like a lot, but I think the series should probably still end between 20 and 30 episodes. And realistically, I don't think it'll creep up to 30. I would be very surprised if that happened. But one thing I want to mention here, I'm sure you've read it already, is that you must 2-0 to end the series. So with these two changes in place, what it means is that the series is never won until it's won. You don't get to a point where it's like episode 15 and we already know the winner based on win-loss ratios. By making it so you have to get a set number of wins and also have to 2-0 in the final episode to win, it means that it's really anyone's game up until the end of the series. I know the 2-0 thing might be a little scary because theoretically it means that the season could go on forever. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I'm not too worried about that. If we get to episode 30 and we're still going because no one's been able to 2-0, maybe we'll reevaluate, but I don't think that's going to happen. You can meet both of these requirements in the same episode. So if you were at like 23 wins and you went 2-0, you would win the series. But it also means, if you're 24 and you go 1-1, that won't be a win. You'll have to play the next week. With this, ban lists are going to change, of course. Without a set episode count, it's hard to determine where the ban list should be. This time, we're doing a pack dash method of bans. What this means is that at your 5th win, 10th win, 15th win, and 20th win, you're going to take some bans from the other players. On your 5th and 10th win, you'll be taking 2 bans from each player, and then on your 15th and 20th win, you'll be taking 3 bans from each player. This is what that ends up looking like. So on your 5th win, you'll have 4 bans. On your 10th win, you'll have 8. On 15th, you'll have 14th, and on 20, you'll have 20. This is admittedly a little bit higher than past seasons if you do the math for each ban list episode, but I think it should be fine because, like I said, I'm trying to make it so it's as close as possible. If you're getting a bunch of wins early, then you're going to take a bunch of hits early so that the other players can catch up. Personally, I love when seasons are super close. I remember Roulette, that season was super close. I mean, we were within like 2-3 wins of each other right up until the very end, which made it a lot of fun. The idea behind a lot of these changes is that I want to keep the scores as close as possible for as long as possible. So we'll see how these work out. So far, it's been pretty good, and I think these numbers seem to work out just fine. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've made a PowerPoint. I thought it'd be like a fun method of doing this, just as like a, silly little thing. But man, it's been a while since I've done PowerPoints, probably not since college, which is crazy. But yeah, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll try to answer the most common ones. But overall, I'm pretty excited about these. Many of them have been in my head for like 6 months now before Team Master Saga released. So I'm really excited to finally be implementing them into this season. I don't think I mentioned it, but it is going to obviously be a 3-person season. We'll have MBT and we'll have Farfa again. Rip gauge, 07s in chat. I guess at this point, it's a good thing to ask if you are not subscribed for some reason. Please subscribe. Please press that notification bell. It's super cringy to say that, I know, but I also know that people aren't getting their subscriptions suggested to them a lot of the times now, so it's the best way to not miss an episode. Okay, cringe aside, I'll catch you guys later.